All right, this is session 3 of the end times here, the tribulation. Back to our center slide here. The leader comes at 62 weeks. He says after 62 weeks, the Messiah is cut off, or the anointed. The word there is anointed, and the city. The anointed could be the anointed people or the anointed whatever. And the city and the holy people are not his. I think it's not this leader's. And it goes on. It says the leader. This is from the Young's Literal Translation. The leader who has come does destroy the people, and its end is with the flood. Until the end, war determined our desolations or destruction. Well, that's what's coming on the end time Babylon. You'll see is nuclear is going to be utterly burned with fire in one day, and we're going to cover the timing of that and coming up here, I think, in 2014. I could be wrong on these. You read them yourself and try to figure it out. But if you count off from 1947 and you add 62 Feast of Weeks, 62 years, you get 2009. And what leader took power in 2009? Well, Obama. Obama was inaugurated in 2009, and his leadership will end in 2017, which is pretty fascinating. And I'm sure some people are scoffing at this, but on the next slide here, and this slide you'll see here's our President Obama on the left picture here, taking off his shoes to kneel down on a Muslim carpet. Now we have a Christian or God-fearing nation. It used to be a God-fearing nation, turned into a Christian nation that doesn't obey his laws. And but now we're really going out there, and we have a Muslim ruling over us. And there he is with his Muslim ring as well, posing with his Muslim ring. And here's a few things that ought to maybe help convince you. The U.S., Obama, just gave a gift of 20 F-16 fighter jets and 200 M1 Abrams tanks, our best tanks, free of charge to Egypt. And Morsi, their president is Morsi, and he's of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood just took over Egypt. They had a big brouhaha over there and kicked out the old guy. We kicked out the old guy. And Obama just gave them a whole army. Do you know what you can do with 200 M1 Abrams tanks with all the armaments, all the shells and all the stuff too? They give them all that. Go do a little research on it. Cost us over $2 billion. And we gave it to them free of charge. The Muslim Brotherhood, the guys that are threatening to attack us and Israel. Now, does that make sense to anybody? Does that make sense to anybody? It's absurd to the nth degree. Also, in addition to the picture of you seeing Obama on the Muslim carpet there, and you see him with his Muslim ring, Obama is the one that gave us homosexual marriage right from the presidency. Yeah, and in the military and all that too. And Obama also has given us tax-funded abortions. Now, it used to be kind of tucked away, hidden in there, and they had to sneak it over to Planned Parenthood and whatnot. And it was, it still wasn't legal. But now it's actually legal. In fact, I was reading that was it Hobby Lobby or one of those places because of Obama's health care. All insurance companies have to fund abortion now. Your insurance has to fund abortion. And they're in a big suit, and they're supposed to be getting fines of $1 million a day and this and that because they said kiss off to Obama. And they said we're not going to fund abortions. And I haven't heard where that ended up now, if they've tried to bankrupt them or what. But your tax dollars now are paying to abort babies, innocent little babies that wicked girls and men don't want. They want to kill them instead of putting them up for abortion. And that's just what's going on over there. And this is the man that brought it to you right here, along with the Congress going along with him. So this is the leader, I think, that comes at 62 weeks in. He fits perfectly, and I think he's going to preside over the destruction of America. So that's take that for what you will. And now back to our first slide, what's going to happen in these end times. I've covered previously some of these other signs in the heavens, which are also indicating the year 2017. In Revelation 12:1, well, first in Matthew. In Matthew, it tells you the sign of the Son of Man. Yeah, it says in Matthew 24:29, immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Well, I did a little digging to figure out, well, what is that sign that's in the heavens? It's up there in the stars that is a sign. It's an indicator that the Son of Man's going to return. And you can find it, I think, in Revelation 12:1. It said there appeared a great wonder, a great indicator, a great sign. In heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, the woman constellation, Virgo, is right there, and that's been since age old. And back the Hebrews used to have the same constellation, a woman constellation back then. Leo the lion, we call it Leo the lion, it's probably Judah the lion, is on top of her head and usually consists of just 9 stars. So she usually has a crown of just 9 stars. But on September 23rd, now trumpets, the Feast of Trumpets is September 22nd of 2017. But on September 23rd of 2017, 3 planets move into the Leo, the lion constellation there. 3 planets will be very bright in that constellation, and there'll be 12 stars visible in that constellation instead of 9. And it says she's clothed with the sun, and also at that time, the sun will be right at her shoulder there, and so she's clothed with the sun, and the moon will be under her feet. Now you can take a look at this. In other years, this doesn't happen. These planets don't line up this way, and they don't come in, and she doesn't have a crown of 12 stars. And you can take a look at this at Solarium software, and I've taken a look in other years, forward and backward by a good number of years, and this doesn't happen in other years. So in this year, it's very interesting that this appears to line up. The stars line up. She has a crown of 12 stars. She's clothed with the sun, and the moon moves under her feet sometime between the 22nd and the 23rd. So I think this is the indicator he's talking about, that the Messiah is going to return on this year, this 2017 year. That's pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. And there's also the other 2 indicators that are mentioned in Matthew there. There's a solar eclipse exactly 1 month before. There's a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse. So the sun will be darkened, like it says in Matthew 24:29. That eclipse, by the way, passes over. If you go out to NASA, you can see it passes over the United States of America too, and it's quite an eclipse. It's going to be a pretty big one. And prior to that, there's a lunar eclipse 2 weeks before that, and so the moon shall not give her light as well. So these 3 things that are in Matthew 29 happen on 2017 as well, and there's other indicators as well, like these blood moons, which we'll cover in the next session. Also, some other indicators of that this appears to be the tribulation time. This is coming up, and I think it all ends in 2017. So so for a lot of our calculations, we start calculating backward from trumpets of 2017, and I think you're going to find it pretty astonishing, pretty amazing what comes to pass, because it does say here. We'll cover more on this 2017 date, but it does say here on the left of this, you can see in Revelation 11:2. Revelation 11:2 says, "But the court which is outside the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it shall be given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." So it looks like Jerusalem is going to be tread underfoot, the holy city, for 42 months. Well, if you count backward 42 months from trumpets of 2011, it takes you to 322. And so Jerusalem looks like it's going to be trodden down if 2017 is the date. We're going to cover, by the way, in the next session, 3 more indicators of the 2017 date, 3 other prophecies that cover it. But this clearly, if you count backwards 42 months, well, March 22nd of 2014. By the way, those Skull and Bones guys, they love that 322 date. They have that as right over their door up there in Skull and Bones, and they also have they put those Georgia Guidestones up on a March 22nd, 1980, I think it was, telling about this world's be reduced in population by 5 billion or 4 billion or something. And that is going to come to pass, but not by their doing, by the Heavenly Father's doing, with the tribulation time, where He's going to kill off people in biblical proportions. But Jerusalem will be trodden down, sounds like, on March 22nd next year. So that's going to be pretty fascinating. I got 17, there's 14, 2014. Also, the beast power is going to come. The beast is given power to rule 42 months. So this beast government sounds like is going to come on the scene at the same time, and that's from Revelation 13:5. I think that's going to be headed up by Prince Charles over there, and you'll see what's going to happen. And also, the scattering of the holy people is going to be for 1,290 days, which that's going to happen as well. If you count off 1,290 days from that 322 date, scattering the holy people being America, Great Britain, and whatnot, our power. The 1,290 days takes you to the day after atonement, 10/2/2017. We'll pick this up in the next session.